Like many players around you, you're Hardstuck Diamond, or Plat, or Silver. Wherever you are, you've been there for a while and you can't seem to understand why. You know you're better than the other players in your rank, so why can't you get the wins needed to climb out? Is it your teammates? Is it your mechanics? Or could it be something else? Today, we are going to take a look at why you are Hardstuck in your Rocket League rank and teach you the steps needed to climb out of whatever rank you are trapped in. Now, this first has to be broken up into two parts. One for the lower ranks and one for the higher ranks, because you are naturally going to be better and worse at different things, with the lower ranks focusing on a broader variety of topics, and the higher ranks needing to specialize in a few things as they will have most of the basics down. So, I will start with the lower ranks, but I would recommend watching through even if you are Diamond or above, as you may find it can help you work on your fundamentals and better them even more than they already are. So you, the lower ranked player, you might find yourself winning one game, losing one game, destroying a team 7-0 and then getting destroyed yourself. You'll play amazing and then next game miss everything. And you have to understand that this is completely normal in every single game you play. Do not feel as if you are a bad player or a bad teammate just because you lose games. At the lower ranks, you are so inconsistent and it's not your fault. You don't have enough time in the game to become consistent in your abilities and in your game sense, and so even when you are feeling good and like you're winning everything, you still need to acknowledge the fact that you are making mistakes, but you don't need to feel bad about them. Just have a quick look at your game and ask yourself these questions. Am I hitting the ball where I want to every single time? Positioning in a way to help my team on both attack and defense? And using my boost properly without wasting it? These are the basics. Your boost controls your game. It controls how fast you can play, how fast your opponents can play, whether or not you can control the field, how much pressure you have. Boost is incredibly important. Positioning is equally important. If you have all this boost but you're in the wrong spot, you can't do anything with it. If you spend all your time thinking about getting boost and going to the corners instead of being active in the field, you aren't helping the team. And then if you're positioning well and you have a good amount of boost, but every single time you touch the ball, it isn't going where you want it to, you are making very little impact in the game and your team now has to play off your mistakes and your bad touches. So with those three questions in mind, knowing these are the basics, at the lower ranks, these are the things that I see people messing up the most. And while you might personally feel it is other things messing you up, it's probably these things. People tend to blame a lot of other things that are completely out of their control. So, if you are someone that blames teammates, opponents being better than you, smurfs, or pure luck, understand that you cannot do anything about this. You have no control over your teammates, your opponents, and, to be honest, luck is irrelevant. Instead, focus on the things you can control. Focus the basics. Look at each game and instead of thinking, why am I stuck in this rank? Think, which of the basics am I not doing well enough to climb out of this rank? Or can I improve on the basics to make my games easier? Because realistically, you can always improve the basics. And with that improvement comes climbing through the ranks. The low ranks are all about the basics and becoming consistent with them, rather than trying to learn a bunch of mechanical stuff. I promise if you just work on the fundamentals, you'll be fine. Something you can do, which I recommend, is writing down all the things you think you do well and all of the things you think you might need to work on, and then watch over a replay or two. When you first watch, keep an eye out for all the things you said you need to work on, and add to the list if you see any things that might stand out. Then watch it back a second time and look for all the things you said you think you did well. If you see that you aren't actually doing some of these things as well as you think you are, add them to the need to improve list. And please be honest, because it's only yourself you're hurting if you aren't. This is a very simple way to have an easy, honest look at your own gameplay and to break down the things you think you should aim to improve on moving forward. Now then, for you higher ranks, let's discuss why you are Hardstuck. The higher ranks in this game, which are Diamond and above, all have a decent amount of time played, which is enough to develop habits, whether they be good or bad. But a lot of people don't realize that those bad habits are what are stopping you from being able to improve. Now, people develop habits when they see things working. But in a lot of cases, because you have seen those things working as you make your way up the lower ranks, you will find that they tend to stop working once the opponents understand the game a bit better. These might be simple things like hitting the ball off the corner so that it goes to the center for a teammate, but high ranked players can very easily defend those, or more subtle things like not hitting a shot optimally because lower rank opponents let easier shots go in. So what you need to do is identify your habits, both good and bad, then figure out which of them are beneficial and which of them might have been a result of lower level gameplay that you haven't yet let go of. For example, a personal one I have is a habit of flipping when I am a tad bit too close to the wall, and sometimes my car doesn't fully land cleanly, and so it messes up my landing, which then stops my momentum, and I lose all my speed, which then means I'm behind on rotation, and I'm gonna need to use more boost in order to get back into the play. You see how one tiny thing, the timing of a flip, now affects my teammates who need to cover for my bad positioning, and affects my impact on the game because I'm gonna need to use more boost to get back into position. Isolate these very small things in your own gameplay and work on them. The lower ranks are all about the basics. The higher ranks are about specifics. Everyone at this stage will have developed their own playstyle, so almost everyone is going to have different specifics to work on. Look for common occurrences in your gameplay where you know you've made a mistake and try to pinpoint the moment it happened. It is almost always something very, very simple, but you overlook it because you disregard it as a one-off mistake. Avoid disregarding mistakes and you will find your common flaws. Once you find your common flaws, you know what to work on, and once you know what to work on, the progress is easy. The hardest thing for any player to do in any game is acknowledge their own mistakes. But once you do, you will have a much easier time spotting them in game and allow yourself to correct them quickly as you play. Now, while you might not rank up immediately, by looking for these bad habits and realizing them, you are going to slowly begin to improve on all the small things, which can make massive improvements to your overall gameplay. Just like I said with the lower rank gameplay, if you want to watch over a few of your own replays, isolate the things you think you're doing well and the things you're doing badly, then watch over a few times looking for each individual thing and realizing, well, I thought I was doing this right, but actually I've messed it up a few times, so it is something I need to look to in the future. Doing this as much as you can every day or every other day with just one replay is going to help you isolate and identify all the little flaws in your gameplay that you never knew were there because they've been built up out of habit. Taking time like this really can improve all the tiny mistakes that you don't realize you're making, or that you know you're making but you simply push to the side saying, okay, well, I'm not going to miss that shot again, it was a one-off. I know it's tedious, I know it's time consuming, I know a lot of you are just never going to do it because you're like, oh, replay analysis doesn't matter, blah blah blah, I can push forward. Look, you don't have to do it, you don't have to do any of it, hundreds of thousands of players haven't, but if you feel stuck, if you want to help yourself and you want to actually push forward and improve and understand the things you need to improve on, I promise you, replay analysis and looking over your own replays, as any coach will tell you, is the #1 way to improving your own gameplay. Hopefully this video can help you to have a little deeper of a look into your gameplay and maybe show you some of the aspects of the game you've been overlooking that are holding you back. I just want to say thank you for making it this far. Feel free to let me know if there is anything else you would like me to cover in the comments. And if you are looking for more guides and tutorial content, the rest of the channel is full of them. Or I do have the Gamers Ready course, which takes you step by step from bronze all the way up to GC. The link to that will be in the description. Anyway, that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.